So what's going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video where today we are taking a look at the top 10 jump scares within Call of Duty Zombies. You might be thinking, how are there even 10 jump scares in these games at all? Which even surprised me, having played since 2008. I thought there would have been about 5 or 6 jump scares altogether in all of the Treyarch Zombies games, which is what we're going to include in this video. But apparently, there are loads. So what I've done is gathered what I think are 10 of the best ones, and we're going to go through them in this video, starting off at number 10. Now, when you think of jump scares when referring to, for example, horror movies, you think of generic, obvious scares, especially if you watch a lot of horror movies like I do. They are normally quick pop-outs of characters, villains, monsters, whatever, accompanied by loud sounds. And there are loads of these, I guess, cheap jump scares within Call of Duty Zombies. They've been in the game for years now. There are also some very good ones as well. I'm not saying that cheaper ones aren't good, but I would say that's what this first one and a lot of these are. You will find this one on Tag der Toten. If you go onto the ship, you will see right at the back, there is this note you will find, which is a schedule of some really weird, I don't even know how to describe this, routines, I guess. It says things such as 7 AM, wake up, do your morning workout, 8 AM, empty discharge bottles, 9 AM, have breakfast, 10 AM, breakfast radio transmission, 11 AM, Magua can't hurt you, Magua isn't real, and, well, if you stare at this note, this happens. You get a Magua jump scare with a very loud sound, which I would say compared to a lot of these other jump scares, the noise you get in this one is a lot more terrifying than others. Not to mention how scary the Magua actually looks. Imagine not knowing this exists, you find this random note, you go to zoom into it to see what it reads, and then you get jump scared. In at number 9, this one can be found on Alpha Omega. In order to activate this, you have to melee off all of the heads of the ADAM robots that you find around the map. There are 30 in total, so if you knock off all of their heads using the Galvanuckles, in the basement, an ADAM robot facing the wall will spawn in, which is quite creepy on its own, having a mannequin just stare at a wall. But if you walk up to it, its head will creepily turn to look at you, and then it happens. Next up, in at number 8, we have a different kind of jump scare. This one I would say is one of, if not the rarest Easter egg, let alone jump scare ever in Zombies. There are actually 2 different jump scares on D Machine that are very similar to this one. The other one I've never gotten myself. This one is a bit more common. Basically, in order to activate it, all you have to do is get the ray gun from the mystery box, and that's it. And occasionally when you do end up getting it, you will be met by this. I think this one's only ever happened to me twice in Zombies over my probably hundreds of times I've played D Machine, so it's extremely rare. But for that reason, unlike a lot of the others, I kind of like that a lot of players probably won't ever see this for themselves in game. In at number 7 on Origins for either BO2 or BO3, whatever version you want to play, if you make your way to the center of the map where the Pack-a-Punch is, all the way up to the mound, and using a weapon with a scope, so a sniper, zooming into this portion of the tower, suddenly a jump scare will appear. Just going off memory, because as of right now I can't seem to remember what this was supposed to be, or if anyone actually figured out 100% what or who this character in the jump scare was. I think there were ideas that it was Samantha. One of their eye sockets is totally black, the other one looks like it resembles the moon. The main Easter egg in Origins is called Lost Little Girl, revolving around Samantha Maxey, so is this her? I feel like I should know this. But yeah, I would say that one is probably one of the less scary ones. In at number 6, going back to Cold War Zombies, a jump scare that I guarantee every single player has got, but the first time you saw this in game probably had you not screaming, but running away in fear. And this is when a mimic pretends to be a loot box. So when you're playing Outbreak, there are chests that you will find all around the map, and the mimics, as their name suggests, occasionally mimic the chests. So you think it's just a regular box that you're going to get loot from, you go up to it, attempt to open it, and all of a sudden it changes into a mimic and starts chasing you. After about the 100th time of this happening, it's not scary, but the first few times, and even now and again I would say, it does get me when I'm not expecting it. But a lot of the times, just because it's so common, I'm always cautious before I approach one. For number 5, this is the second jump scare that you will find on Tag Toten. Once you've opened up all of the map and you've accessed the main area, using a scoped weapon, if you just zoom into this location on the lighthouse, you will get this jump scare. If you know the story, this hobo person is Pablo, and if you play the game, he is actually inside of the lighthouse. You can talk to him and see his shadow up there. So I guess it makes sense why when you zoom in here, you see a jump scare of his face. Getting down to number 4, back with the generic style jump scares. This one is in Blood of the Dead. I don't know why this one exists in the location that it does, but when you zoom into this specific location, using a scope, this happens. If you aren't aware, this is the Shadow Man. He plays a big role in Blood of the Dead storyline in manipulating the warden to transform Alcatraz into what we see it now, this hellish place trapped in a pocket dimension. He is the main antagonist in Blood of the Dead, so it makes sense why we see him, just not why we have to zoom into this exact building. For number 3, we also have the second jump scare for Alpha Omega. If you look at this exact spot in the desert, how someone found this, I have no idea, but this is what happens. This is Cornelius Purnell, otherwise known as Avogadro. It's explained to us in Alpha Omega how Purnell turns into Avogadro, who we also saw in the map Transit. For number 2, this might be my favourite jump scare ever, to be honest. This is so different to any of the others. In order to activate this, and I think I'm right here, you have to, like a lot of these, get yourself a scope sniper rifle, and then aim into the test subject tubes that you will find in the bunker, and then somewhere around the map, a doppelganger of one of the characters if you're playing co-op, or you if you're playing solo, will appear in the map. You might just see this doppelganger of one of the characters standing off in the distance, looking at a wall, or as you can see in this instance, you might just be looking around randomly, they're unknowingly behind you, and you turn around, and that's when it happens. Probably my favourite, but for number 1, I've had to put the Mob of the Dead jump scare simply because this was really, I would say, the first one in zombies. This was the one that started it all, and because it was the first one, unlike a lot of the other jump scares we've seen previously, was actually scary. You just get a sniper rifle, go to the rooftop of Mob, zoom into this location in the sky, and that's when you see it. So there we go, 10 of my favourite jump scares in COD Zombies. There are a load of scary Easter eggs in this game that aren't jump scares, these are, and there are also a few more jump scares that I didn't include in this list because it would take it past 10, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. A lot of them aren't scary, but still pretty cool either way. Drop a like rating if you've enjoyed today's video, make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.